You ever heard the saying? You fight your hardest battles in silence. What does that mean? Well, today we're going to look at a story of a boxer who literally took this to heart. In the beginning of his career, this boxer had no opponents. No one wanted to fight him because he was just too good. So he spent years fighting his own shadow, moving like an opponent would, throwing punches into thin air, talking trash to nobody. People thought he was crazy, that all those years he would have been better off just chilling on the beach somewhere, sipping margaritas, instead of going through the motions with a workout regimen that included fighting an imaginary opponent. They called his training sessions phantom battles. They even went as far as to say that he was probably making up imaginary voices in his head to make it seem like there was someone in the ring with him. But every time he stepped into the ring with a real opponent, he would win. Not just win, he would dominate. These phantom battles prepared him so well that he could see things in the ring that other fighters could untapped. Like, he could tell when they were getting tired long before they started showing signs of fatigue. He could tell when they were about to throw a haymaker by the way their shoulders twitched. Little things that most people miss, but that gave him just enough advantage to land a solid punch or kick right when the other guy thought he had him figured out. Now, you might be wondering, why is a story about a boxer talking to nobody and fighting imaginary opponents even relevant to you? Well, more than you might think. I promise, because in life, we often find ourselves waiting for our moment to shine. We train, we prepare, we put in the work, but we don't have anyone to show it to. It can be easy to feel discouraged. When you don't have anyone to prove yourself to, you start to wonder if it's even worth it. If you should just give up and move on to something else where you can at least see some results. That's what this boxer wanted to do at first. He wanted to quit. But then he decided to stick it out for one more year to keep training and fighting his shadow just to see what would happen. And that turned out to be the best decision he ever made. Because that S when the real fights came, when he finally got his shot to prove himself. But since he had spent so much time preparing for a fight that never came, he was able to walk away with the championship belt. See, while everyone else was sitting around waiting for the day, they'll finally get their moment to shine. This boxer was out there getting his hands dirty, working on his craft, even if it meant doing it alone. And that's what it takes to win in life. Sometimes we have to spend years, maybe even decades, putting in the work, training, learning, growing, all while no one is watching. All while it seems like our efforts are going nowhere, all while people are laughing at us for doing something that doesn't seem to make sense to them. But if we're willing to stick it out, if we're willing to keep doing the work even when no one is watching, then we will be prepared for when the real opportunities come our way. We will be ready to seize the moment and make the most of it. Just like the boxer who spent years fighting his shadow, we must be willing to go through the motions. Even when no one is looking, even when it seems pointless. That is where the real preparation happens. That is where we become truly strong. So, the next time you feel like giving up, the next time you feel like your efforts are pointless, remember the boxer and his shadow. Remember that the world doesn't always make sense. And sometimes we have to do things that do seem to make sense in order to succeed. Sometimes we have to fight our shadows for years, not knowing when or if we'll ever get to use those skills. But if we do it anyway, if we do it because it's the right thing to do, then we'll be ready when the opportunity finally comes. That's all for today. See you next time!